Let me see if this thing's on.
No, looks like the network decided.
Oh, fuck. RJ's finally mad enough to where he starts DOSing the network.
Okay, I'm on yeah.
So,
Wait.
did they do something to the access control? Because none of us are allowed on the internet. There we go, we are now live.
Okay.
Oh, am I live now?
Yeah.
Now you are.
Oh.
Just out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere, yeah. So go.
Okay, RJ, stop DOSing us, and maybe we will consider not lashing you. Not making any promises here, but you have to stop DOSing us first. Funny story from DEF CON real quick. So me, Dr. Goon, Singer, Amber, like a whole bunch of us are out there after the Florida Man party, and this suit, I think he was from Oregon or something, or one of those substandard states up in the Pacific Northwest. He starts, introducing us to one of his products, and I guess somebody started like attacking the website of the service the guy was selling. So he said if we stopped attacking his website, he would pay off all of our bar tabs and essentially give us an open bar. So we hoisted up the Florida flag. I think, where were you when this happened?
Me and my brother were getting drunk on that.
That's right. Okay, so Tremere was getting shithoused. Trey hadn't arrived yet. Yeah, so this guy paid off our bar tabs in exchange for somebody to stop DOSing him. Wasn't me, but just interesting story. So welcome back. We had a slight hiccup in the network there. We're going to go ahead and go down into business. Two things. So A, me and Trey are undergoing certification to become firearms instructors. What's going to come out of that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. That means Trey and I will be licensed by the state of Florida to be able to give concealed carry classes here at the temple. So, if you're looking at getting your CCW, stay buckled up a little bit. And, me and Trey will hook you up. Make sure you get the full class. Make sure you get the range time, everything you need, so you can defend yourself. Because, let's face it, you're unprepared. You're like Kobe. You're just like your Bambi's mom in the middle of the woods. We all know what happens. So, just as Kobe is sure enough to stay inside, you probably don't have enough guns and ammo to defend yourself. That's where me and Trey come in. We help you, because that's what we do as the benevolent leaders of the temple. Next week, speaking of Trey, we have him giving a preview to the talk he is going to be giving at B-Sides Georgia, B-Sides Augusta. I want to say that's like the third week in October, I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, around those time frames. You should consider going to B-Sides Augusta to support our beloved Trey. Because, well, no, he probably wouldn't do the same thing for you. But you should anyways, because it's good. Yeah, we're going to go up there and crash the party and remind Georgia that they are nothing more than Florida's hat. And make sure they stay in their places. So, B-Sides Georgia, but yeah, next week Trey is going to be giving a preview talk to his B-Sides Georgia talk here at the temple, which means that talk, at Trey's request, not mine, I am not the dickhead here, is not going to be streamed. So again, if you're not down here, tough fucking cookies. That's next week. The week after, I'm going to be talking about a CTF that I'm going to be posting for temple members only. That will be remote because I'm nicer and better of a person than Trey. I guess you could say I'm a benevolent god, lowercase g, God King, lowercase k. With that said, I don't think we have anything else to report other than welcome back from your Nambla Cruise Tremere. Tremere is back, which means I'm no longer allowed to engage in my wacky antics anymore because he's the grown-up. I'm just me. Past that, I don't think we have anything else. So yeah, we are going to roll to somebody I've come colloquial to know as Drone Guy. Now, Drone Guy, we picked him up on the side of 275, and we were like, saw dude. He's like, hey, I got this drone. I was gonna try and, you know, do some freaky deaky shit with it. We told him, hey man, come on down to the temple. We get freaky here all the time. I think Trey found him. I don't know. We'll have to go into like how you found out about the temple at some point. Like the Triumvirate, he is a member of the Department of the Navy. Former member of the Department of the Navy. Unfortunately, it is not the men's department of the Navy. Former Squid. We'll ask you about that too, because a lot of us are veterans here. So let's go ahead and cut to Drone Guy, aka Josh. Or is it Joshua? Which one do you prefer?
Josh is good, man.
Josh. Okay, yeah, go Josh.
You're scared. I told you.
Hey, good stream, everybody. My name's Josh, as also everybody knows me as the Drone Guy. I'm local here in Tampa. We've got a shop. Been in the hobby for several years now. But I want to talk about a topic that gets me excited every time I get to speak about it, and that's being able to merge computers and computer security and technology with drones. Because really, at the end of the day, all a drone is just a flying computer, and they're actually vulnerable to all the same type of attacks as a computer that would be on a Wi-Fi network or that you could ping on the internet. So our presentation today is called Ghost in the Drone. A quick quote by Gandhi that kind of sets up the scene here. Know the rules well so you may break them effectively. All right, so let's roll right into it. So attack vectors. Early in the days of Phantom 2s, Phantom 1s, some of the generic drones that were coming out, they all communicated over a Wi-Fi network. So a lot of times you could easily connect to that network without knowing about it, because a lot of times the passwords were weak. They were publicly listed everywhere on the internet. Nobody really had the technical, let's say, fortitude to actually go in and change the password. So we saw in the early days a lot of people, a lot of nefarious actors would bring their laptops or tablets or cell phones to a park, wait for somebody to fly a drone, connect to their network, and hijack the thing. So it's still happening today, just on a more technical level. DJI, for example, 85% international market share, meaning 85% of everybody in the world that owns a drone owns a DJI branded device. All right, so these things are massively popular. Not too long ago, there was a let's call it a white hat hacker that started researching for bounty and found that DJI's servers that captured the video, it was leaked publicly on Amazon servers. Videos that you would submit for troubleshooting tickets were all exposed, along with customer data and that sort of thing. So cybersecurity, there's and drones, we've got to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on. Video link snooping. A lot of the Wi-Fi networks that are broadcasting from the drones are typically for video streaming to your device or recording function. So if you are using a drone for inspections, seawall inspections, bridge inspections, you find something that needs to be reported, that's important. A lot of people, it's possible for other people to tap in that video feed and see the exact same things that you are. So if you're surveying an important, say, a military facility, okay, that video stream can be tapped. A good example is about 2 years ago, there's a Palestinian terror group, Islamic Jihad, that was able to hijack into the video feed of the Israeli military surveillance drone. They were able to do that, and it was very, very simple to do. It's not that these guys were super elite black hat hackers that you'd never hear about. They simply used about $200 worth of home equipment that you would use to communicate with satellites, like a dish network dish, an encoder and some software and a computer. They were able to dial into the radio frequencies that the Israeli military drone was broadcasting to the satellites, which is open, raw, unauthenticated data. So if you're able to tap into that using a special encoder, it took the guy maybe 3 tries, and he had every bit of surveillance that drone saw. Why would they want to do that? Why would a terrorist group want to tap into a drone's video feed? Let me just tell you, being able to see where these drones are, knowing where the area of recognition, the area of operation that these drones are in, allows that attacker to be able to operate in other areas that would otherwise be outside of view. Okay, so let's go into the Iran and U.S. RQ-170 incident. All right, so this happened a few years ago. This was a result to a GPS spoofing attack. So basically, what happened is a military drone was flying along the borders of Iran and Afghanistan, and Iranians, they saw the United States supposedly lost control of the drone. The drone ended up in Iranian airspace, and the Iranians were able to hijack the drone and safely land it wherever they desired. Okay, so yeah, that's scary. But let me tell you something that's more scary. All right, This vulnerability exists in every single GPS-enabled device in the world. This is a vulnerability that exists since the 50s. It cannot be patched without completely rebuilding the entire GPS infrastructure, right? The reason why it works is because by the time the satellite signals come down from space, down to your cell phone or to the drone or whatever have you, the signal is very weak. So it's very easy to force the drone to listen to a fake GPS signal that's coming from the ground or from another aerial vehicle, okay? Even the airlines, GPS technology needs to be looked at or evolved from before we can really use drones to deliver your pizza. All right, I've identified 5 different attack vectors that drones are vulnerable for. All right, cyber attack, such as Wi-Fi password cracking, man-in-the-middle attacks between a cell phone and the drone itself. You've also got radio frequency replay attacks that you can carry out, that sort of thing. We also have physical contact, things like, shooting at one. And by the way, I've armed up during the Obama era, so I am good. All right, so. So physical contact, anything that can come in physical contact with the drone, such as a projectile, such as a rod, such as microwave, a directed microwave blast, maybe. No, actually, we'll put that under electromagnetic. The third one, electromagnetic pulses, lasers, anything that can interfere with the magnetic surroundings of the drone, because the drone uses a compass to understand its bearing and its heading. Being able to affect the electromagnetic field in or around the drone can cause the drone to enter a fail-safe state because the data that it's expecting is not right, so to force it to land. Specifically, it's the extended Kelman filter that's being used to calculate all the data that the drone receives from the GPS, from the IMU, from the compass, and that sort of thing. All right. Frequency and GPS jamming. This is really the only one where we civilians aren't technically allowed to do, okay? And it's really mostly because a lot of these drones operate on the 2.4 gigahertz band, which means everybody's cell phones, your Wi-Fi routers, all that sort of thing, that all falls under that frequency. Now, there are drone jamming devices out on the market right now that target specifically the frequency that these drones operate on. In the United States, from my understanding, and anybody else can hear tell me otherwise, you have to be some kind of local law enforcement officer, or some kind of in the government to be able to use jamming devices. All right. So GPS jamming and GPS spoofing are 2 different things. Okay, you can GPS jam a device. You can block the frequency from the ground, from the radio station, from the ground station. All right, but you can GPS spoof, which would fall under the cyber attack. And then I also have the experimental stuff. There is so much that we still, even though we can build these things and make them fly and do all these really crazy things, there's always going to be other things coming up in the future, other ways we can interact with these drones in a malicious way. A perfect example is the Skydio 2 drone. This is a production drone that you can find on the internet. It has 16 4K 180 degree obstacle avoidance sensors all around this thing. This thing is badass. It takes some people 8-9 months to get this drone because there's such a huge demand, and this is still a very small company. They can't produce enough. All right. However, okay, if you shine a laser at one of those high definition sensors, you will cause that drone to fall out of the sky. You're welcome. All right. Other things. That can fall under the experimental class like that may be specific to one particular drone. We're going to add that as well. All right. So cyber attack, we're going to touch a little bit more about it. I can't stress to you enough how many of these drones are using some kind of Wi-Fi network, even in the commercial space. Now, now let's flip it over for a little bit. Let's talk about cyber attacks not attacking the drone, but using the drone to carry out a cyber attack, okay? Everybody knows what this is, right? Anybody like pie? I like pie, okay? So being able to strap one of these that only uses 5 volts of electricity with a couple of Wi-Fi adapters and an SD card loaded with Kali Linux, fly this drone around your neighborhood for 30 minutes and see what kind of information you can pick up. There's war flying.
War flying.
The best part is I can do all that and make the drone fly autonomously anywhere I want in the world and be able to capture that same data. I remember a vulnerability from back in the day where, and it probably still exists today, where local printers on your network that are connected to your network are broadcasting their own Wi-Fi ID. All right, using a drone to fly over an organization to be able to pick up those Wi-Fi IDs, you can easily use this drone, land on the roof, upload a payload to that printer, and you have persistence within that network. You know, it doesn't take much. So frequency and GPS jamming, like I said before, I'm sorry, that should say spoofing, GPS spoofing. The GPS spoofing cannot be patched. Oh, and I guess GPS jamming can't be patched either. If you can find that frequency, which that frequency is in my PDF that I believe the Discord users are going to get, that if you, let's say, use a HackRF module or some kind of RD radio-defined module to be able to transmit some gibberish on that frequency, and you'll wig everything out. GPS device works everywhere on Earth, and we're talking about cell phones, Teslas, the jets that are flying over your heads. All this is vulnerable to GPS spoofing and jamming. So I'm going to open it up for questions. Do we have anybody lined up? Cool.
So we have RJ, fucking RJ. What are Bandito drone races and are they legal?
Abandoned building drone racing.
What?
Yeah, so bando. So it's when you're flying a bando, it means you're flying an abandoned building. And bando flying is awesome. No, it's, like you see it all the time on YouTube. These guys are flying through these buildings as, spray paint, tagging and everything. These guys are flying through these things like they know the building like the back of your hand, and you have to. But is it legal? Not if you don't get caught. I mean, be real. I mean, because
This guy just became our best friend.
because technically you have to have the property owner's permission to be able to fly at that facility. If it's an abandoned building, oh well, at least you tried. So yeah, that's my answer on that.
Okay. So from Vodkanaut, when you are testing attacks on drones, how do you usually set up your environment?
Just like I would attack my home computers. Listen, anything we do on the ground, cybersecurity-wise or otherwise, we can now put in the air, including a data center. I mean, think about it. If we're able to strap a false LTE module to a drone, have it tethered, this drone can fly indefinitely. Whatever we put on that drone as a payload, we can have up in the air indefinitely. So how I'd set up, I would get a bunch of Raspberry Pi modules and start from there and have your drone connected to the Wi-Fi. There's a publicly available script called DroneSploit. I don't remember the name of the creator, so I'm sorry, creator, but props to him. He created an interpreter shell style method of attacking Wi-Fi networks, and that would actually specifically filter out drone Wi-Fi networks from home Wi-Fi networks. So only that drone would show up. So definitely check out Kali Linux, install DroneSploit, and start playing with DroneSploit.
To kind of follow on to that, So is there a way to build a drone hacking environment without a drone? Like, can you just take drone firmware and beat the shit out of it?
I mean, you don't need the motors and the frame and all this other. You just really just need the electronics.
Yeah.
Let me give you kind of I'll show you what the specifics of it right here. Okay, let me kind of get up to the camera. All right. So we see here, this is the flight controller. Okay, this is an Arduino-based board that has sensors built into it, including a compass and that sort of thing. Along the sides, we actually have access to the I/O ports. So we can attach other devices on here and use the flight controller to sense things, to gather data. I tell people it's like a PC. You have to be able to have a USB ports to interact with the PC. This is your PC. Everything else is just attached to the USB ports. And the computer is taking all that data and is making calculations along with an IMU, which stands for Inertial Measurement Unit. It allows the computer to know the state at which the drone is at, whether it's stable, whether it's pitching forward, whether it needs correction, that sort of thing. So once you're able to communicate with this flight controller, with this computer here, you can run rampant on this thing. The software that's on this one specifically is called ArduPilot, and it's an open source software. The protocol that this uses is called Mavlink, and it too is also open source software. There's also another open source software called MavProxy. MavProxy would run on your Raspberry Pi. Your Raspberry Pi would be connected from the 3 outer pins on the outside here to one of these data ports. And anything that you send through Pi Proxy will be transmitted and relayed over to the flight controller as a command. So we would be able to essentially attach a 4G cellular module to the Raspberry Pi and have control of the drone anywhere where you have a cell phone signal. I saw some Jetson Nano boards up here. Imagine being able to having some AI technology on board that's able to run through a rainbow table or whatever have you. Yeah. So this after tonight just became the most dangerous weapon in the world.
Very well. From Rab, what's the range for intercepting drone video feeds? There's kind of a bunch of questions packed into here, so I'll let you. Yeah, I'll read one off. And then.
Okay, so it just really depends. Can you hear it? Can the antenna that you're using hear this video signal? Depending on the signal, any 5.8 gigahertz signal, yeah, you can tap into. That's the most common frequency that a lot of the drone racers race on. If you go to a drone race, you can get the goggles and you can dial into your favorite pilot and be able to see exactly what he sees. Now, that is a very simple method of tapping into somebody's video feed, okay, but it is a common thing. And the reason why the Israelis got their video feed tapped into is because security is such an afterthought, all right? If you want video feed to go to as many different people as you want, you make that protocol open, right? So it's very easy to tap into some of these video feeds. So antennas matter. The antennas matter as far as being able to hear the signal that you want to tap into. It does have to be within range. So whether it's 5.8, it's really short, you have to be close. If it's a satellite video feed you're trying to tap into, you could probably, work out the math and figure out when you can tap into that one.
So follow-up question from Rab. How does the ease of discovering them from their feed or electronic signature compare to finding them by sight?
So if I'm translating that correctly, how
Hang on, let me hold you on that.
Yeah,
Rab,
okay,
can you
sure.
ask that in non-retard language?
Sure. So, for example, I'm the person who, wants to know where the Israeli drone is that's, looking at us.
Okay.
How much lead time do I get if I'm looking for drones electronically by intercepting feeds or whatever it is that I'm doing, as opposed to like everyone just looking around. I mean, are they hidden until you find them through the feed, or
Sure.
how's that work?
Specifically with the Israeli drone, that was satellite. So you'd have to be within view of the satellite that's receiving that feed. Does that make sense? The satellite has to be in the sky and above your horizon to be able to communicate with it. And you only have so much time to do that. So if you are, trying to think of how I can answer this. Because tapping into a satellite is much different than tapping into something low key like this. So yeah, did that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So at least for satellites, it has to be at least in this, be able to be up above the horizon. Yeah.
Okay. And Tremere just posted the link for Drone Sploit. Have you ever fucked around the Sykes building?
With what?
The Sykes building. Downtown? That
Sy-
big spherical building?
Oh, that $10 million house looking thing? I've every time I drive by, I think about what I want to drop on their doorstep.
Question from me.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to get into drones ever since I've had a disposable adult income.
Okay. That'll quickly dry up.
The one thing that's kept me from doing it is I don't want to buy commie drones. I don't want to buy DJI, and that's been such an issue with me. It's actually kept me out of the market.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding is companies like Parrot and like a lot of these other companies just kind of suck. With what you have right there, is that something that you've built from open source parts?
Yes.
And is that something that's open and available to noobs like us?
Yes to the first question. If you look for to the second question, keep in mind when I taught myself how to build these drones, there was no information on the internet. There was no YouTube videos and a whole channel on how to bind your radios. Okay. Back in the day, it was very online hobby. Online forum type of hobby, where if I had an issue, if I couldn't figure something out, go on the forum. Like I was back in 2012. Post up in the forum and wait for a response. So nowadays there's a lot more information into how these things get put together. What I tell everybody is to start small and start slow. I'm the type of person. Well, I'm about to caveat that by saying that I'm the type of person that jumps both feet straight in.
This isn't that kind of place.
Great. Okay, well then do that. I think the hacker mindset, this is the perfect playground. Okay, because there is so much math and physics and electrical engineering and a lot of things about Raspberry Pis and Arduinos that you wouldn't normally explore. How I got bit by the bug was I found an online blog talking about how this guy had taken an Arduino board, it was an Arduino Uno, hooked up a GPS, a compass, an IMU, and some other stuff to it, put it all on a frame and got this thing to fly. And I was like, you kidding me? Like, you could do that, right? So, but fortunately for me, they were kind of a little bit further beyond where some of these flight controllers, like you see in front of me here, was already available. The software was already available. The development was already going in, and it was still very difficult to get to the point where you can build the drone by yourself. I didn't even know how to solder before building. I'm a master solder now. I mean, it's amazing how much you can learn, especially nowadays when there's a lot more information on how to build one of these things. And if you're the type of person that just really, I mean, listen, every bit of this on this table, it's all from China. Okay, there's no American company that's going to say, yeah, we'll sell you this flight controller for $25. Right? No, we're Americans. It's going to be about $2,445, right?
Thanks, unions.
But being able to put it together yourself and kind of go through the learning process is very rewarding. Carbon fiber is electrically conductive. I did not know that during my first build. That's why I caught it on fire in my living room 3 different times. I was like, where the hell is this coming from? Yeah.
Now,
So-
how long from getting into the habit? Like, what was your first drone?
It was a self-built.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
approachable if you're retarded like us down here. Like,
Yeah, no,
He made it, not retarded like us.
no, but in the sense of like, we will sit there in front of this computer screen and figure out how to do this with all of the solder burns until I get it right.
yeah, and you know, and it's about making the mistakes. I mean, I have scars on my hand. I've stabbed myself with a screwdriver. I have a scar up here, stabbed myself with X-Acto blades, just working on it. I've cut 3 of my fingers almost clean off, just
you know-
because motors just spun up.
Do you know someone by the name of Courtney Newby?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Yeah, so
Yay!
she's, yeah, I kind of figured because she's like, 1 drone started 2 drones, started a living room full of drones that caused a garage full and many fires.
That was the beginning of our marriage in a nutshell. But God bless her, she stuck with it. It was actually her idea. We actually had the rings flown in on a drone down the aisle.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was a.
Where'd
it
you
was a
get your
Phantom
wife?
4.
I'll trade in my soon-to-be fiance.
No thanks. I'll see you at Tomb Home, babe.
Yeah, she's probably watching at home like, oh motherfucker. Fucking give me a black eye. Hey, Neon Temple, here's what you do in case of domestic violence.
She knows I'm in Ybor, so I'm already up there.
Okay, I think we are out of questions for now for the discussion channel.
Okay, well,
Steady as you go, sir.
appreciate it. Yeah. So, gonna make a plug or?
Absolutely.
Say again?
Oh, you want a plug?
Yeah, can I get a plug for the shop?
Yeah, oh, please. I figured CamperDrones.com up on
Okay.
screen there, so go for it.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
plug away.
All right, cool. So I know some of those questions are still going to be coming in even after this stream is stopped. If you have any more questions, you want to talk to an actual drone expert instead of waiting on the line on GetFPV maybe, come down to my shop. I'm down here at University Mall inside over here at Temple Terrace. Come by Tampa Drones. We do drone repairs, drone training. We have an indoor drone track where we have whoop nights on Tuesday nights. If you like robotics, if you like
Me and
coding,
Jameer just looked at
if
each
you-
other
if
like,
you
well, there
like
goes our
all this
disposable
kind
income
of
for the
stuff.
month.
It's all happening down at my shop. I'm open from Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 6.
So University Mall, huh?
Yes.
How many gunshots do you hear in that mall, like, on average?
Only during the riot. No, actually.
Oh, were you down there for that?
No. The space that I was in was, but they were hitting the jewelry stores. What are you going to come in and steal? A 3D printer? They're not even going to know how to use it.
And then you make lots of guns with it. So. Out of curiosity, what can be 3D printer, you have one, I think, right?
3D printers are amazing.
Okay, so what's my mileage with a 3D printer with one of those? Or like just in general, like I have a 3D printer, what can I do with it to achieve that?
2 different worlds.
Sure.
You're talking C# and you're supposed to be talking Java. Yeah.
Okay, so
No, it's two completely things. But like I got into 3D printing after drones,
gotcha.
and it wasn't and learning 3D printing. Listen, the 3D printer part, that's easy. It's setting it up in Cura. It's getting the tables balanced. It's figuring out what kind of heat settings and what kind of filament you're going to use. There's a lot more that goes into 3D printing than just downloading something off Thingiverse and sending it to the printer. So 3D printing is its own whole hobby. There are people that do 3D printing as a living. But when it comes to drones, you're using a 3D printer to complement the drone itself. You're not 3D printing an entire drone. You can, and people are out there that designing plans where you can 3D print your entire drone. But think about it, it's going to be plastic. So the first time, and it's layered plastic. We use carbon fiber for a reason. It's very strong, it's very lightweight, and it's very rigid. PLA is not lightweight. It's not
Yeah.
any of those things.
It's made of sugarcane.
So there's a filament that we like to use called TPU. It's very soft and jello-y. We like typically if you have a 3D printer, you're 3D printing GoPro mounts for your drone, for your racing drone, and you're using a TPU to kind of get the jelly out of the video effect. But 3D printing, I mean it's great. I've got to fix my washer and dryer with a 3D printer. The springs were stretched out, so I made myself a spacer to fix that and bucket fixed. My wife wanted an extra little hook for a curtain rod that we couldn't find, so we 3D printed one. Works great, still there today. You know, I mean, 3D printers, you know, they're great, but they're a whole different ballgame.
So if you're like talking to like, because the moment you said, "Hey, come down to my shop and spend money," me and Tremere immediately looked at each other and were like, "We have some disposable income. We have addictive personalities." So we go into the shop, and what would we want? Like, what would be the ballpark price range for us to walk out with something flyable? And how long would it take for us to assemble it? You know, really get to understand what we're doing and how to do it.
If you're not going to be a Nazi about it, the DJI FPV drone is probably going to be the best thing. It is a Chinese drone, but it is
Xi
the
Jinping says
easiest
hello.
entry into the FPV world. It's you put the goggles on, you drive this thing like a bat out of hell, and it's super fun. Yeah.
What about for like filmmakers and people shooting? Like, what's the best type of drone?
If it's
Any
your
different?
first drone.
Yeah, first one.
Okay,
Just
so
say.
for your first drone, for videographers, understand there's additional licensing that videographers need to have. If you have a
Just for,
YouTube
like,
channel that's
privacy.
monetized, that's included.
Ah.
Okay, Part 107 certification. You can come to Tampa Drones. I'm Part 107 myself. I also teach the class, so you can get Part 107 certified yourself. But moving on from all that, assuming you follow all the rules and regulations, the Mavic Mini 2 is the latest mini drone that's came out. It's under the 249 gram limit, so you don't have to register it with the government if you don't like. And you get about 30 minutes of flight time and 4K video.
Wow.
I mean, right now that is the longest flying mini production drone that's on the market right now. That can do
So
4K.
yeah, we're talking about inside shots, everything. 'Cause it's
You can do it.
small.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's small enough, light enough. You can fly it indoors and outdoors, and it's even capable of staying up in the air. It winds over 35 miles an hour,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to take
So
a
are
road
you
trip.
talking about the DJI FP or
The
FPV?
FPV drone.
So looking at like 1,200 on Amazon?
It's about $1,500. About 1,400, 1,500 with tax and. Yeah, and if you wanted extra batteries,
I did not need to know that.
need extra batteries. Yeah, there's cases, there's skins, there's different props. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. So I'd say about 1,500.
Now, do you teach the class? Because I understand that in order to get a FCC certification or FAA, whatever government agency that wants to control my fucking life. So in order to get FAA certification, don't you have to take a class or something? Do you offer that?
You don't have to take the class.
Okay.
That's a big misconception. You don't have to take any class to take the test. You do have to take the test.
Gotcha.
And you do have to pass a TSA background check. Okay. But if typically if you already have a background in aviation and you maybe already have your pilot's license, if you have your pilot's license, you don't need Part 107. You're good to go. But if you understand basic aviation knowledge, that is the Part 107 test. But if you were like me when I started out and had no clue anything about aviation, a class is a very good way of getting to know the information, learning how to fly safely with other manned aircraft that are in the area flying, and not having to take the test more than once, because the test is $160 per pop. So you want to make sure you pass that the first time.
Your
And yes,
wi-
I do teach that class.
your wife said, tell them about the boat tour.
The boat tour? Oh,
What's
yes.
the boat tour?
Right.
Yeah, so
Ryan
the
said
Tampa Drones photography tour is going to be happening in December. And basically what that is I built my own landing pad for a boat that you can take off and land on using your drone. It's made out of inflatable inflatable bed, like an air mattress, with plywood and grass and everything. We tie it up to the boat. We take you out to 3 different locations plus lunch. It's about $250 per person. And we have December 27th is when that's going to happen.
Do you have like a flyer for that or something? Because not only will I pay money to do that, but I'd want to see if the guild would want to do that. That sounds dope.
I
Like,
will,
I kinda wanna
will
just
send
drop
some
250.
stuff out. I will send some stuff out. Be sure to visit my webpage, become a member of the meetup group, because that's where I'll announce all that out at.
If you have my email, just email. So
And
for
I'll
those
email all
days,
that stuff too,
we'll
for sure.
pass it around 'cause I think we'll probably get a group together at least. So.
Yeah, I have one tour booked already. I want to do at least 3 or 4 that month. So if we can get it, let's do it.
What is
we
the
take you
F-
out to Anclo,
funny.
all the state parks that you wouldn't normally be able to go and take off and land from.
Yeah.
You can take off and land from the boat and go fly over it. So the Anclo Lighthouse, that's our main spot. We go out and you get to fly the lighthouse, get all the pictures and stuff you want.
Now, what is the FAA's policy on just getting drunk as shit and flying one of those?
It's illegal.
Of course it is.
You shouldn't have asked that. You should have done.
Thanks, Obama.
Technically, I think it's like 8 hours. You're not supposed to have any drink of alcohol before flying a drone.
What's just curious? Is it comparable to a DUI or a smaller fine? Like,
Yeah, so if we do get caught, what are we looking at here?
curious.
It's only an issue if there's a crash and there's a mishap and somebody gets hurt.
Gotcha.
And the FAA, that's pretty much their stance on a lot of things when it comes to the drones and whatnot. Is if there is no, I mean, there is no police out driving around with their flashlights looking into your eyes. You know what I mean? There's probably at most 15 people actually working for the FAA. The
Gotcha.
FAA is actually a very, very small organization. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this story. The first private company was just fined only a couple of years ago after 19 warnings from the FAA. Those warnings mixed between pilots not being certified, flying in areas where they didn't have authorization, not following the FAA rules. All of these really bad things, they got warned 19 times before they got a fine. You know, so there are some people out there ratting people out on using videos, drone videos on a monetized YouTube. You'll get some kind of takedown notice or something probably, but it's not like they're gonna come chasing after you unless you're obviously doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Now, is there stuff that's available only to if I buy like a DJI or a Parrot or something? Like if I wanted infrared or heat map or something like that, could I buy something that I could stick on a homemade drone?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's where it all started from. Was customized built drones like this to carry payloads such as LiDAR sensors, multispectral cameras, the really nice big red cameras or the DSLRs. That's actually what this drone right here was originally intended to be, was to carry a DSLR camera. They're really big, they're heavy. No, this isn't designed to land on the water either. Actually, the camera with the gimbal and everything that was hung from the front, it was so large that the previous owner of this drone had to put these foots on it to raise it up so the camera wouldn't hit when it landed. Okay, this drone here can probably carry about 7 or 8 pounds for a good 20
That's a
minutes.
lot.
It is a lot. Yeah, think about how much payload you can put on that.
Now, do you see yourself sacrificing portability for payload capacity?
It's getting better.
Okay.
So back in the day, yes. But now as engineers have started to come up with better designed drones, like this one here, this doesn't fold up. Just about any commercial or self-built drone that you find today, they're going to fold up somehow. They're either going to like sandwich together, or they're going to like umbrella down or somehow. So it becomes easier to port around. But DJI, I mean, if you want to think about Apple, okay, DJI and Apple, they're pretty much the same thing. They're even both from Shenzhen, which is funny. But everything is very, very locked down and proprietary with DJI. So the cameras and everything that you get DJI branded are typically only for that. This gives you a lot wider playing ground and a lot more versatility, so you don't have to pick and choose what you need for your budget.
Okay. Last question. So, if the guild were to request it, would you be willing to do like a virtual tour of the shop?
Totally.
For like a lunch and learn or something? Okay.
Yeah, it'd be really boring,
Yeah.
but yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, just because I don't, I mean, if
Tell you
we
what,
were to take
yeah.
one of your classes, what would we come out knowing and being able to do?
How much time and money do you have?
We're cybersecurity engineer. Well, maybe more
So
money than
lots of
time.
money,
But
got
yeah, maybe more money than time.
Yeah, no, okay, so when you come in, you're going to be introduced to 2 different organizations. Okay, I'm actually renting space from an organization called the AMROC Fab Lab. It stands for, I know Terry's watching too, Advanced Manufacturing of Robotics Fabrication Laboratory, I think, right? So basically, they're a nonprofit organization that hosts robotic competitions, teaches coding, teaches engineering concepts to both all the way from kindergarten to high school, all the way into your adulthood. They got something there for everybody. Mechanical, like an auto repair certification. If you want to learn coding, if you want to learn sewing, if you want to learn robotics, if you want to, STEM.
I want to learn all those things.
It's a STEM playground is really what it is. And this is also one of 3 places in the country at the moment that has Hatto. Does anybody
Has
look
what?
at Hatto? You know what Hatto is?
Isn't that a fish or something?
No, close. It's an augmented reality dodgeball game.
Wait, run that by me one more time.
It's an augmented reality dodgeball game.
Isn't that the
So
shit that
if
happened
you
out in Vegas?
imagine
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, right? The energy balls and whatnot. So you put on these goggles that has an iPhone in it, and it uses augmented reality technology to add an overlay and gives you a game component. So we have the full-size arena over here at AMROC. If you guys come out, I'll be more than welcome you guys to come in and play a game. You put the goggles on, you have an iPod Touch on your wrist that records your movement. You can set up your energy ball if you want it small and fast, or if you want it big and powerful. And you get shields. So there's 3-on-3 team, and you just throw invisible shields at each other. But in your goggles, it looks like there's energy balls, and you dip and dodge and dive, duck and dodge. Yeah, and it's actually a really popular game over in Europe. It is considered an esports game. There are sponsored leagues in Japan and all over
Japan,
Europe
of course there
that
is.
plays this game. So this is one of 3 locations in the country where you can actually come and experience it.
Yeah, I know a lot of cool stuff's going on at the University Mall.
Yeah, University Mall, the Ghetto Mall, as everybody likes to know it. They're trying to get rid of that name. It's now the Uptown Mall.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know
they're-
USF just took out like a huge block of land.
They're putting in $3 billion into that place.
Yeah.
So it looks ran down. No, they're actually ramping it up. Dillard's is coming down.
There's a film studio there, right? Diamond View?
Diamond View Studios is there. Yeah. So if you come out during Roboticon, so typically there's several organizations around Florida that host Roboticon, which is basically kids robotic competitions. Everybody is shut down except for AMROC. So AMROC is going to be the only place in the state where kids are going to be able to come and perform their robotic competitions. And during Roboticon, Diamond View Studios is going to allow tours through their facilities so you can see some of their technology. Last time I was in there, they have this robotic arm. I know you would like this. It had a red camera on it, and it has like 0.001 millimeter accuracy, where this thing can spin a red camera in any whichever direction. A lot of this stuff that you see, a lot of the high-end commercials that you see, they're all being done over at Diamond View.
Okay.
Cool, that's a hot spot to be in, so yeah, we'll have to come check it out.
Yeah, there's actually even going to be talks later into the build. They're actually trying to, with my help, trying to actually have an indoor drone arena or some kind of indoor RC track type of deal where people can bring their stuff and have an indoor place to fly. Because that's my dream, is be able to provide a place like that. Because in Florida, it's hot, it's humid, it rains. it sucks flying outside. Bring it indoors in the air conditioning. These drones get to as small as the palm of your hand. With the goggles and the FPV, you can fly it around, race, and have a good old time.
That's sick. So, last question. So you mentioned that you were a squid for 8 years. What's your background and how did you arrive at a dronery?
Sure. Okay. So, I was born in Indiana. I'm a born and bred country boy, corn-fed, as they say.
Yee.
Yee. Yeah. So I graduated and went right into the Navy. I had started my passion in computers. It started in high school. Started as senior year. I was that kid in high school that made fun of the computer geeks and swore I'd never go into the military. I ended up doing both. But yeah, so I just got interested in computers and just being in a small town farm type household. You know, I didn't really have the ability to jump on the internet and and explore and do all these things that that I was hearing about, but I couldn't ever really explore. So I joined the military to really kind of pursue computers specifically. So I joined 3 months after graduating high school. Went to boot camp. Spent about 7.5 years, 8 years doing IT. So during that time, I've deployed with Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom. I was on the 2006 USS Nimitz deployment during the UFO sighting. So I've got some cool stories offline about that one. And I've also done some time in Kuwait. I've traveled all over the Westpac over there, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Bahrain, Dubai, Hawaii twice. It's a good time. So just taking all that in, I got really good at computers. So I started going down this cybersecurity route. Got stationed out in Hawaii underground and got to do some really cool training over there. So that's where a lot of my IT and just kind of nerdiness from everything that happens over here happens. I'm running Arch Linux on my laptop, not Windows. You know what I mean? So it's and most of my computers at house are set up in some way to serve some kind of function. So it got to the point now. I'm now 20 years in the industry in IT. Guys, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got real bored, and so Raspberry Pi started becoming a thing. Internet of Things, the system on a chips. That started piquing my interest a little bit, more so in a way to where I don't have to set up a desktop for a server. I can now put it on a Raspberry Pi and run that as a server. And that's really the only thing I've ever used the Raspberry Pi for, is to run just a bunch of little servers. But I wanted to start teaching myself coding, and I knew the Raspberry Pis were a good platform for that. So I started going down that path. Raspberry Pis turned into drones. And once I learned how to build a drone, it was just like building a PC. I tell people it doesn't matter if you're driving a Ford or if you're driving a Mercedes. You still have got 4 wheels, you still got a steering wheel, this gas pedal's still on the right side. It just comes apart differently. And that's all these drones are. Is just they're all made up of the same components. They just come apart differently. So once you have that level of understanding of how these things are put together, you can start to modify the purpose behind that aircraft and make it really do what you really want it to do, and that's to fly around and hack something.
So what classes do you have coming up at Tampa Drones?
Classes?
Yeah.
We're about to get pretty busy with Part 107 training.
What is that?
Part one. So the FAA certification to fly your drone for profit. So if that's something you're interested in, we're going to be holding some classes for that. We have Build a Drone workshops happening every first and third Friday. So if you want to come and learn on a very basic level how drones are put together, it's a great class to come in and check out. We also do one-on-one. So if there's a specific topic that you want my attention for, we can set that up, set up a time, come in and chat about it. A lot of times, a lot of people. Are we good? Yeah. Oh, okay. The most common thing somebody comes into the shop asking me about is how do they get into the drone industry. If that's your topic, come in. I'll be more than happy to tell you how to get into it.
So, Going back to that FAA training,
Sure.
if we wanted to use a drone on a cybersecurity assessment, or like I do a lot of work with missing persons, would I need that FAA training?
Yes, because
Okay.
you'd be using the drone for a job. Yeah.
Sold. Okay, good deal.
Yep.
Well, we appreciate your time, dude. This was a kick-ass talk. You got anything else that you want to show as far as the shop goes?
No. Come by, check us out, and hack the world.
Hack the planet.
Hack-